Here we are at the location for our gig today. It is another town festival, and of course that brings in the Carnival. Man, this takes me back to when I was a kid and we'd get all excited to ride all these crazy rides, not realizing that each one's basically a death trap. Ooh, here's a new one. I haven't seen this one yet. Okay, that's enough sightseeing. Let's check out the location where we'll be setting up today. This is actually not my gig today. I am going to be helping some friends set up, and I like to do this from time to time because I feel like you can learn a lot by watching somebody else's sound process. The top on this stage is much better than the one at the baseball gig I just did. It was really slick when it got wet. Look at this spot back here. Perfect place to put all your empty cases. Now this isn't a huge area, so I'm curious what they'll bring for a setup. What do you think your go-to system would be for an outdoor location like this? I'm curious. We also need sound to get back here, which is gonna be the beer garden for the evening. And they have this really long bar set up and an ATM if you need cash, because maybe they don't take cards? I believe this is where we are gonna get power for the night, and it's probably coming out of this panel that's been here since the town was founded. I've met up with the event organizer and he's getting us power, and I am calling the band to let them know what the power situation is and where they can park. If you're new to outdoor gigs, a lot of times you'll get a plug like this. There's also this box where it's split down so that you can use it with your gear. The most common way is to use a distribution box like this one I got from Champion, which will bring the power down to the level that you need it. These boxes also give you the added protection of GFCI outlets and circuit breakers. And it looks like the band has arrived. One of the big challenges at a new location is, where do you even park? How do you load in? You try to do your best and get that information ahead of time, but sometimes you don't really even know till day of. All right, let's unload this thing. According to my YouTube analytics, over 3,000% of you have not subscribed. That's okay, I'm just glad you're here. Since we're gonna be rolling cases in and out of here, I'm just gonna pull this cable. It won't take much time, and then we don't have to keep lifting stuff over it or rolling over it. We are discussing the plan for the layout for the night. I just kind of want to see where his head is and what he's thinking. Everybody does things a little bit differently, so it's just nice to get on the same page. If you've watched any of my other videos, you might recognize some of these people. They were part of my video series called My Friends Have Bought a Bar. And what they did is they all got together and they purchased a bar and they They renovated the entire thing and turned it into an incredible music venue that I actually go to quite often for open mics, and they host live music all the time. If you would like to watch those videos, you can check it out in the top right. Now back to your regularly scheduled program. While it looks like there's a lot of people helping set up, it's really the band and they're setting up their own sound at the same time. It looks like they are going with a dual 18 and a single 15 top. Kinda interesting. And as you can see, we have racks on racks on racks today. That's gonna be fun to decode. So they had to change the cord that runs the distro because their distro does not feed the same way mine does. They have a homemade distro, which looks scarier than it actually is because it was made by a certified electrician, which is this guy. He knows what he's doing, and you can see he's testing out the connections. Judging by the tails, it looks like they have a rack for running sound and a rack for ears. If you know me, you know that I love stage plots. Stage plots are great for sound engineers, so they let us know where you want to set your gear up and what gear you'll be using, as well as it gives us an input list usually. You don't have to have this much detail in your stage plot, but I can appreciate how much work was put into this. Quick question, how many of you use a case like this for your microphones, and how many are using drawers? I'm looking to get something. Well, since I'm a guitar player, I might as well help them set up this Helix. I love using modeling pedals. I started with, oh man, it was a Digitech pedal, and then I got the Helix and it just felt like a whole world opened up. Then I moved on to the Fractal set, the X 3, the FM3 and such. And now I sold that one and I'm currently using a quad cortex, which actually sounds really good at this point. But there's so many out there now and they all can sound really, really good. And when I'm running sound for a band that uses them, it makes my life so much easier than having a loud amp on the stage. The drummer's now here and looks like he's using a huge rack. Wait, that felt dirty to say. You know the old saying, chrome won't get you home, but dang does it look cool. While I've got some time, I'm gonna take a look at their trailer. Since I'm considering a trailer build, it's nice to see how others do their setup and how they store their items. I'm not sure what the moving blankets are for, but maybe it's so gear doesn't get all bashed up in movement. Okay, let's take a look at their gear. The front of house is going to be run by this X32, and in the center there is a DMX unit from ADJ. And then on the top, it is a XR18, I believe, that is going to be running their in-ears. They also have these really cool drawers. I like drawers, I might start incorporating that. The guitar player will be using this very pink Helix. She's also using an MXR talk box, which always adds some fun to the show. And these are her guitars. And just in case you need backup to your backups, here's some more. Just kidding, it's probably alternate tunings. Some of these have some really cool binding, like this carbon fiber. That's really neat. She also likes to use these tails on her guitar. I think it's fun to add those little accessories to make your band stand out. Her mic is the good old Beta 58 with a custom grill. The bass player is also using a Helix and running into the Fender Rumble for some stage sound. She also has a really nice case for her guitars. Man, I really need to step up my game. I'm still using individual cases for mine. Heck yeah, she's using the SC V7 microphone. And the world's greatest fan. Seriously, if you don't use this fan, you're missing out. The other singer is also using a Line 6 Helix. Really, Line 6 should have sponsored these guys. Here are his guitars. He is also using the Beta 58. And here's the drummer's rack. I really like the way drums look on a rack. He's also running these plexi shields. They don't completely block out the sound of a cymbal, but they really do take a little bit of that edge off and keep it out of your microphone more. And then his drums are mic'd up with these mics. I tell you what they are, but I forgot to ask and I couldn't see the name on them. Interestingly enough, it looks like they're running a couple of kick drum mics on these toms. And inside he has installed a Sennheiser 902 microphone that always stays in the drum kit. He's running a roll-in sample pad for some fun effects, and under the hi-hat is going to be an Audix F9. And it just wouldn't be a gig if there wasn't a problem. During the line checks, things are not showing up where they're supposed to be within the right channels, so now it's time to investigate the issue. It is very easy when you are given tails to just be one off and then it throws the entire scene off. But in this case, what it was is the layout that they normally use in the front of house mixer is not the same that they used in the XR18. It's just gonna take a little bit to repatch them. For lights, they have a few of these light bars going vertical and horizontal. And also they have a few of these fun little movers that they're gonna use. For the front of house, they are using passive speakers, well, passive subs, and it looks like it's a turbo sound shell, but I think he said he put Electro Voice speakers in there. And for tops, he's using a JBL 615. How many sound guys does it take to dial in this kick? Obviously it's 3. 1 to actually do it, and 2 to stand by and look cool. Looks like people are starting to show up. Everything is tested and ready to go. Let's start this gig. looks like they have sound under control and turnout is great. And since it's my birthday, I'm gonna go ahead and head out and maybe get myself some ice cream or something. It was interesting to see how my friends set up their own sound and kind of pick up what they do. And what the heck is big meats? I feel like there's an inappropriate joke here. Back on topic. Thank you everybody for joining me in this video. I appreciate every single one of you, and I will see you at the next gig.